All right, good morning. You got the Air Down podcast from Fly on the Wall Productions, Barrie, Vermont, on a beautiful, beautiful day. Yes, it is gorgeous out there. We're looking at, well, partly cloudy skies this morning, becoming mostly cloudy for the afternoon, slight chance of a rain shower, highs near 50. I'm looking right now on NBC5, getting my forecast this morning. Tonight, rain showers. Looks like 46 for the low, and then we dive into Wednesday tomorrow. Almost Halloween. Tomorrow, they're saying can you believe this? 67 degrees tomorrow on October 30th. Is that right? 67? What is that? Global warming? I don't know. Yeah, thanks for tuning in this morning. Listen, I've already got text messages that are coming in this morning from people that I know and people that I don't know, who are listening and following Aired Out, saying, be careful, JD. Don't say this about the border crossings. Don't say that. Be careful of your word choice. This morning, my response to that is a respectful fuck that. Because I don't know, man. It's like the older I get, the more I just am starting to feel like transparency needs to be at the forefront of our discussions. And we need to say it like it is more often than not, instead of skirting around and carefully crafting everything that comes out of our mouth so that we don't offend, hurt. Listen, what we say is going to bother some people. What we all say, it's just the way it is. And man, if we haven't figured that out yet, especially coming headfirst into the election, I don't know what else we need to figure out. We are going to say things, all of us, me, you, everyone, we're all going to say things that others are not going to agree with, and they're going to take offense to. And man, it's like, shit, man. I mean, that's life. Sherilyn, more often than not, doesn't agree with what I say. My own brother will push back on certain things and try to help me see a different perspective, which I think is fantastic. If we can all engage in conversation and have an open mind and look at different perspectives, and instead of pushing our agenda and pushing our argument, if we can just take a deep breath, and even if we don't agree with the other person, just take a deep breath and just listen to what they have to say. Chew on it for a little bit. Think about what others are saying, and, when you're alone, and you're driving down the road in your car and you're alone with your thoughts, just try to digest a little bit of what it is that they're saying. There are plenty of us that are going to refer to people who cross our borders, any border, as immigrants. And there are plenty of us that are going to refer to them as illegal immigrants or aliens or illegal aliens. If my dad were alive and I had him on the airwaves this morning, you would probably hear things that would curl your hair. It is generational, these words that we use. Please have that in your mind this morning going forward here, so that anytime someone says illegal immigrants or immigrants, that's their generation. Okay? Leave it alone. Move beyond that and look at the bigger picture here. Okay? Okay. Just want to get that right out front. Facebook question of the day, and I had some rather interesting response to this. If you had one Vermont lawmaker and 1 hour, just you and him or her, who would it be? And what topics would you discuss for that hour? Border control has been among those responses, along with, of course, housing, homelessness, our drug crisis, or as some believe, our drug apocalypse here in Vermont and the country. But border crossings, illegal immigration into our country is definitely one of the topics. Swanton has come under a lot of fire. There are areas all along the border that are experiencing a real struggle right now in our state. And there are some real masterminds out there, people that know how to get over the border. They have been honing this skill for quite some time now. There's ways to do it on the main arteries coming into Vermont, 89, 91. And there are ways to do it in the woods, where you're the least conspicuous as possible. Apprehensions at the border have spiked in recent years. It's all over the news. I see it. I hear about it on my phone. I hear it everywhere. If you are not hearing what's happening here in Vermont in the news about our border crossings, I urge you to pay better attention to what is happening in Vermont. I'm going to throw some numbers at you here before we even get started this morning. And I'm going to throw these numbers again too. This is factual stuff. It's all over the news. And these are not numbers that I'm pulling out of my ass or making up. I also want to preface this morning by saying to those of you who have accused me of fear-mongering, get a grip. The last thing that I would ever try to do is instill fear in anyone unjustifiably. Kiss my ass. Here are the numbers, and these are factual numbers. 2022, Border Patrol agents detained over 1,000 people in Vermont, coming into Vermont. A year later, 2023, Vermont Border Patrol agents apprehended 6,900. Again, we went from 1,000, that number climbed to 6,900 in 1 year. Now, we can all sit and blame the president at the time, who was in office, who is the governor, who's the president of the United States. We've got to point the finger at somebody. I hope you're sitting down for this next one. Again, 6,900. That was 2023. Are you sitting down? Because I don't want you to fall over and smack your head when you hear this. In 2024, so far, 19,385 people were caught crossing into the Vermont border, representing 97 different countries. Dave just posted a very simple and direct question. And I have seen what Dave has posted in the past. And I'm going to be really honest with you, okay? Dave, your simple question that you have asked just now, which is this bad? And some previous comments that you have posted on Aired Out, which I've paid attention to. Have made me think, have made me, like I said when I started this episode this morning, have made me just think. It's always while I'm alone in the car, always, about the other side of the coin here. That we, as human beings can naturally tend to pick a lane and just drop the hammer. But it is so important to think about the other side. This is a super complicated issue here. I personally have, Dave, and I gotta say, man, it's like I want to thank him for having the courage, the bravery to post a comment like that. Whether I agree with Dave or not, just the fact that he has commented the way he has, I think the most responsible thing that we can all do is just listen to the other side. Just have an open mind. We don't have to agree with them, but just shut up and try to listen. Just try to listen. Man, I'll tell you right now. No, Glenn, I am not being sarcastic. The one thing that I really need to do more of is just listen. Just listen. I am absolutely not saying that I agree with everything that I have seen written on my page. I don't agree with what everyone is saying, man. Hey. I have my own very strong feelings about this subject matter. I personally, and I don't let myself get swayed by what my friends think, what my family thinks. You should hear what my brother thinks. But I personally have a great respect for all human lives. Am I a humanitarian? I don't know. I tend to love dogs more than humans, to be really blunt with you. But I personally have great issue with anyone that takes advantage of what we strive for as citizens in our country, what we have worked hard for. And, man, I know that there are, I can't imagine being a Border Patrol agent on the Vermont border or the Mexican border or any border. You couldn't pay me enough. I don't want to see innocent children who are caught up in this with desperate parents who have been split up and don't know where the other one is. I don't want to see kids, any child, getting dragged across the border in the middle of the night, dehydrated, hungry, cold, hot, whatever. I don't want to see any of that. I also believe that there are just a good number of people who are just not good people. And if they want to bring their, well, if they want to come into our country and try to ride the wave that they haven't respectfully been a part of or are not entitled to as an American citizen, I believe that they should respectfully stay where they are. This is our country, and you have your country. You know, I've even heard, and I'm sure you have, what's so great about America? Why would anyone want to come over here anyways? I mean, you know, my God. Well, can you imagine if you were in their shoes, JD? Wouldn't you try to skip the border? I don't know. I would do anything for my family. Anything. But if I listen, I know I'm going to take some heat for this. I'm sure I'm going to get a few people that are like, oh, JD, you're so goddamn right-winged conservative. Oh, fuck that, man. You try to put me in a political box, you're not going to have any luck. My best friends, my family, my wife, they know that you just can't do that. I'm hard left on some things. I'm hard right on others. Most of the time, I tend to drive down the middle of the lane. I swerve off to the right and to the left a little bit. But those that know me really know me. And those that don't but think they do, good luck. Try to put me in a box, and you will fail every single time. But I believe, and you can call this hard right if you want to. I don't give a shit what you call it. But I believe that if you want to better your life and help yourself or help your family, I believe that you should go about it the legal way, yes. The legal way. Based on our rules of our country, respectfully. That's what I believe. The legal way, but also the right way. That's the right way. It requires effort. It requires transparency. It requires a lot of work. Extensive background checks. A whole shitload of paperwork. Time. The government. The courts. All of that shit. There are many, 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 many people who have done that. And they've been doing that for hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, look at this comment that we just got. In my honest opinion, we're all immigrants in this country, says Robin. You know, listen, I understand that we all have opinions about this. I also understand that I'm speaking my opinions and my thoughts on this into the microphone. And I'm not going to edit anything out. I'll be live right here with you. You're posting your comments up too. We have enough U.S. citizens who abuse our systems, says Chris right here. There are a lot of, I can't even read these, a lot of men coming over here. What was that? A lot of men coming over here from other countries illegally. Why? Says Heidi. Glenn, don't bite your tongue. I mean, the tongue is one of the fastest healing body parts in our body. It will heal. It might be uncomfortable for a little while. You might have to rinse with some salt water, and it'll be painful for a little bit. But Glenn, don't bite the tongue. Then you got to taste blood. And come on. I'm going to call here in a second Justin LeBlanc, whose son, from what I gather, captured some photographs of some people crossing the border through the woods on his property up on the border. I think it's Derby line, but we'll find out for sure here. I'm going to call him in a second, and we're going to put him on the air. And I hope, before I even do this, I hope that he'll have a chance to go back and read all of these comments this morning. But I encourage you to ask him some questions here. And the comments are flying by so fast this morning that I can hardly keep up with them. But here he is, right here. Justin, good morning, my friend. Good morning. You're live on air now.
Okay. Morning.
I am. I'm happy to have you on, man, and I really appreciate you doing this. I have a massive amount of comments that are coming in this morning. Tell us where you live. Where's your property up there?
We're on the border in Newport Center.
Okay. What this was your son that set up some game cameras?
Yeah, two of my sons, they're hunting buddies, and we're just moved they had some cameras out already, and they weren't getting any deer pictures, so they moved them to new locations. And the very first night, 2 nights in a row, they had these illegals on there.
Okay. So I got to tell you, first of all, you already know, and there's the photos, and there's also some video clips too that have, frankly, gone viral. You're aware of that?
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
It is amazing. Not just here in Vermont, but far beyond our borders. People are seeing these pictures. You're aware that it's gone viral nationally?
Yeah.
What say you about this? Do you have kids? I mean, this was your son.
Kids,
was how many kids do you have? And right around how old they are? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to throw it out in the air.
Got it. Sure.
Safety issue. But.
Sure. Yeah. This was, but this was your son that had set up the camera. Do you have more than one kid?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you say about this? How are you feeling? Are you concerned or not?
Yeah, there's definitely lots of concerns. Where to start? Concerns for my family itself with this happening in our backyard. I mean, we've got 250 acres here, and we're used to be able to just walk around freely, let the younger kids go out and hunt or walk to their grandmother's house, and we don't feel safe doing that anymore. For a couple different reasons. Not saying all these people are bad, but I can't imagine they're all good either. Even if these people are just desperate, what's going to happen to a kid if they cross paths with them? Wrong time, wrong place. I don't want to. There's too much at risk, not just for our family, but like I said, this possibility of these people with real bad intentions for our country that are coming in undocumented, in the middle of the night, in the middle of the woods like they are. They're trying to avoid being caught. And, where are they going? What are their plans? I think there's too much at risk just to say, oh, well, they're all just trying to get away from a bad country that they live in and to a better place. Because what also comes to mind is if they made it to Canada, they're coming in through Canada. Canada is very welcoming to immigrants. They're well taken care of up there. They're given money, shelter, Medicare, If they made it to that safe place, why come down here? And why do it in the night, or it's happening in the day too, but there's roads that kind of dead end into Canada that continue on the Canadian side, where some immigrants are coming through and kind of wanting to be caught. They're trying to get on our welfare system here. They're caught and they're essentially released, and they're given benefits. But then on the other hand, there's the groups that are trying to get in that don't want to be caught. So that's a concern.
Do you think, and this question just came in, do you think that we're getting the right assistance from Border Patrol and state police or the federal government? What say you about that?
Well, I give a shout out to our Border Patrols. They're doing their best. They're doing a great job for their limited manpower and resources that they have. But I just think back, this is problem has started 4 years ago. It has just gone crazy in the last 4 years. There were previously laws in place that helped the Border Patrol do their job and gave them the resources that they needed. And when those laws were removed, that's when things went crazy. Our borders just opened up. This catch and release policy is not helpful. It's hard. If I put myself in the Border Patrol's shoes, how would I feel if I'm going out there to do my job? I took an oath to serve and protect this country, and then I'm risking my life out there in the dark to catch who knows who. And then essentially they're getting set free. It would be hard for me to keep my chin up and my morale high and feel like I'm making a difference if it's practically we're doing a job just to have somebody undo everything we just did.
Well said. You would say, though, maybe, I'm assuming that you're saying that you do feel that Border Control, immigration services are, in fact, taking this threat seriously.
Yes, the guys that are patrolling are 100% giving their best to handle as much as they can.
And I just said a short time ago, I can't imagine being a Border Patrol agent. And I think you kind of alluded to that as well. I mean, I just can't imagine. My God, I got friends calling me who want to come on the air this morning. Do you believe that these are terrorists? Because we've seen that word coming up in comments. What say you about that?
I keep that as definitely a possibility. I mean, it's nothing new, not a new idea that there's terrorist groups out there in this world that hate America and want to take us down. That's well proven. And these people that are coming in from over 100 different countries. So it's not
90,
not all these
90,
countries.
Yeah, 97 according to WCAX. Yeah.
Yeah. So not all these countries have such bad things going on where people need to flee.
Well said. That's an interesting angle. Not all of these countries have it bad enough where people need to flee.
And I'm certainly sympathetic to those countries or groups of people that do have it bad, and I just don't think that the risk is worth it for us to just open our doors and let them all in.
John just posted, we got to change the United States Charter. Read the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. These are just a few photos that you have taken on your property of people crossing the border. What about your neighbors? Are they doing the same? Do you have friends who live up that way who are hunters who also have game cameras?
Yeah, just a couple days ago, one of the neighbors' game cam caught some illegals walking through his property just north of mine. Um, and the Border Patrol, responded really quickly. They called me right up and said, "We think they're headed to your property, so probably see us up there." And that's where they ended up catching up to him, was about a half mile later on my property. These were four men, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
This is what you're talking about is a different situation than your photos that have gone viral.
Yeah,
This is during the day.
yeah. They're making arrests day and night, every single day.
This is while you're maybe even not at home or working or just away. That people could be coming through your backyard. I'm guessing your house is pretty locked up tight.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm guessing that you also have, assuming they also have some pretty good security cameras that are linked to your cell phone.
Yeah.
My God, how could you not?
Yeah.
It's amazing that some of these photos that dropped have gone viral so quickly, and it just makes me wonder about all the others that haven't. The game camera photo that you first put out here, and we'll show that here in a second, was first published by the Newport Dispatch on October 24th, just recently. Are you getting any heat from people for releasing these photos to? I mean, look at Digger's got the story. CAX has got the story. Newport Dispatch has got it, and several others. Are you getting any heat from anyone?
No. Luckily.
Wow.
I mean, there's, if you read the comments, there's been some different opinions, if it's real or,
Yeah.
Well,
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. That they were doctored, that they were staged. Yeah.
No, I mean, we're not computer scientist people. We don't know how to AI generate something. This is just ridiculous.
What are your neighbors saying to you? What are your friends up there in Newport Center saying to you?
Well, we're just all keeping in close contact, keeping each other updated with suspicious vehicles, or when something's going down and the Border Patrol calls and says they're at four here, or we're letting the neighbors know. We're just keeping in close contact.
What this guy?
Everybody's all the neighbors are concerned. They're walking their properties and seeing if there's any signs of it happening in their backyard, and it's surprising to find that it is. It's not just isolated right here. It's half a mile down the border. There's more going on, and it's just all over.
There's another guy that has made his name into the news here, Dave Craig, who lives up in Newport Center.
Yeah.
Saying that migrants use an old Prohibition era bootlegging road that cuts through his property. What do you know? What do you know about this? Anything?
Well, his property is next to mine, and yeah, I mean, it's very close to where the cameras were. He's keeping an eye on his property, and yeah, I mean, it's happening.
He says that these folks that have been crossing the border have been picked up by unknown people on Leadville Road.
Yeah. There's the other day, Border Patrol caught a BMW from Florida picking up people. We've all seen New York plates, Connecticut, New Jersey, Massachusetts. They're coming in from all over, picking up these people.
19,385 people, according to Digger, in the year ending in September. That's up from 6,925 the previous year and 1,065 the year before that. The latter figures also include those who were expelled under Title 42, a pandemic-era public health order. What is your family saying? What kind of conversations have you had? Have you thought about moving? Have you thought about how long have you lived there?
Well, we're the third generation on this farm, and on my dad's side, his mother's side goes back further than that, just down the road. So we don't plan on moving. We like it here, but it's just flipped our world upside down. How small has our world become when these people are coming from, all over the world right to our backyard.
I said this morning that we all need to, including me, try to just take a deep breath and listen to others. And we don't have to agree with them, but just to listen to their perspective, what they have to say, and maybe chew on it for a little while.
Yeah.
By yourself, privately, listening to what others have to say, and just try to consider what it is that they're saying. And I think, Justin, that maybe you and I, maybe you don't agree, that we would both find some commonality here, that all of these people that cross into Vermont are not, just because they're crossing illegally, doesn't mean that they are bad people with bad intentions, being it, drug distribution, violence, whatever it is. Some of them have genuine hope of finding a new life and bettering themselves. That they're not all bad people, no matter how they're dressed, no matter what they have on their head, but that there's a right way to do this, to come into our country, and there's a wrong way. And the right way is the legal way. It's not necessarily the fastest way or the easiest way. And there's a lot of time and paperwork and all kinds of shit that I don't even know that would go along with doing it the right way, the legal way. Would you agree with what I'm saying or not?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying exactly that, for sure.
Yeah. You're staying put, though.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's notable. Good for you for staying put, and
Thanks.
And good for your neighbors staying put. What are you going to do differently here going forward in the coming weeks, months, year?
We're definitely going to be more cautious. Yeah, I guess that's all I can say is we're just going to proceed with caution.
Yeah. A lot of comments coming in this morning. I can't keep up with them fast enough, but, Shirley just wrote the last comment here. I think most people realize this, JD, but it remains that we still feel unsafe. It's the not knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the not knowing who these folks are. And frankly, we don't always hear, depends on where you live, I'm sure, we don't always know who our neighbors are. We could have some violent, freaking crazy ass people that are living right in our community and that have bad intentions and are just not good people that are striving to better their lives, and they're unsafe. So the unknowing can come with not just people who are crossing illegally, which it is, it's illegal, not knowing who they are, but also not knowing who legal citizens are who live right in our town. I don't know. It's just, man, I'll tell you, I can't imagine being in your shoes. I can't imagine being in your shoes and having kids, feeling uneasy. I feel uneasy, and I don't even live up there, man. I'm a couple hours south of you in Barrie. I can't imagine living near the border. I would be sleeping every night with one eye open. Now, I'm probably going to get accused of fear-mongering again for saying a comment like that, but is that how you feel sometimes or not? How do you, are you?
Yeah, I'm worried some people are going to feel like that. Yeah. You know, the ones that are looking at it as, you know, they're all just poor people. And, you know, my heart certainly goes out to that, and I'm sure everybody's does, you know, but, just the weighing it out, you know, what's the risk we're really taking here, and what could we do to help these people before they feel the need to come here. And then, you know, one point we should think about is who's helping these 100 different countries get into the border, get into Canada, and then helping them get into our country. I mean, they're not doing it on their own. There's got to be a very powerful organization, well-run organization that's helping this happen.
Yeah, and as we know or strongly assume, especially there on that bootlegging road, that there are efforts that are well coordinated. We're in the communication era now. We all have phones and ways to communicate. So are these people coming from other states or even Vermont and picking them up on roads and transporting them somewhere? I don't know. Like, you got a great point there, that it's not just the folks that are crossing the border. It's beyond that. It's the folks that are helping them get to the border, and then those that are helping them after they cross the border. I've had comments that these could possibly be Sikh soldiers. Have you heard anything about that?
We were told that some of these are Sikhs. I mean, we weren't told that they were soldiers, but certainly some that in the picture, you know, somebody's comment was, "Oh, this is our military doing a training exercise by the border," and it's like, well, yeah, you get the military part possibly right, but it's not ours.
Yeah. And I would think that if it was ours, they would be like, whoa, hang on a second, that's us. Sorry, we didn't realize we were crossing into your land. Whatever. Anything else that you want to close out with this morning, Justin?
Well, you know, some of these people are being taken advantage of by, you know, if you want to call it the organization that's helping them, because they're having to pay a lot of money. We're told by one group they paid $4,500 each for a map to get through our land, and you know, somebody's making a lot of money off some of these people. You know, they're totally being extorted. And where are they taking them? Are they really helping them in the end, or are they what's happening to these some of these people that are coming through, and maybe they're being told that we'll get you here and we'll set you up, and they get to the final destination. It's like, oops, we're going to do this to you instead.
Yeah. Man, you got a lot on your plate. You got a lot to think about. We're getting comments here.
And not to mention, it's a well-known fact with all the child trafficking that's going on in the world now, with these recent documentaries that come out, proving that's really happening. And I mean, they've even said that that's a bigger trade than the drug trade.
Yeah.
And
heard the same. Yeah.
So we just need to do what we can to help save some of these children that this is happening to. I mean, they could be slipping right through our fingertips right here. As we're told that the Border Patrol isn't allowed to, like if they catch a guy with a young child, there's no way they can really know if that's really his son or daughter. They've got to be released with him. They can't take a picture or fingerprint this child. There's no database that they could put her picture into and see if she's a missing person. I just think there's more we could do to help save kids. I mean, kids are important. I couldn't imagine being abducted and dragged around the world for who knows what kind of life.
This is a crazy fucking world that we live in, my man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's just a lot to think about here, and with this upcoming election, that who's going to help this particular situation.
I the way I think is, whoever wins the election, there's so much attention that's drawn to the Mexican-U.S. border. But are they even aware, or would they even be aware of the Canadian border coming into the United States? It's not just Vermont, man. It's New York. It's New Hampshire. It's everywhere. Whoever wins the election, are they only focusing on the Mexican-U.S. border as the problem area? Have they forgotten about the Canadian border and what's coming in there? I mean, if all the focus is on the Mexican border, screw it. Let's go to Canada, cross up there. Man, any comments or thoughts about a Russian network here? Have you heard the word Russia or Russians in any of your comments here, or either from...
Actually, no.
You haven't?
I can't say that I have, no.
Okay. Anything else you can think of this morning before we let you go?
Well, like my neighbor said, he knows a guy that running for president that might be able to do something about this, and he flips burgers, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Justin, I really appreciate you coming on this morning. I appreciate your time, and all of the viewers and listeners on Aired Out would say the same thing, would say thank you, Justin, for coming on.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Listen, I would like to circle back with you here in another couple of weeks if you're good for that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that. I'm hanging on to your number. Thank you, brother.
Okay, have a good day.
What say you, Vermont, and wherever you are this morning? I know I'm sounding like Jimmy Durante here, but what do you think about this? Where do we go from here? I'm just, I'm glad that these photos were released, and I'm glad that that this story has been brought forward for Vermonters. There's so much shit, man, that we are just not aware of that's going on behind the scenes right here in our little state of Vermont, right up there underneath that Golden Dome, right in our backyards, right in our local governments. We need to be aware of more stuff. And if something like this happens, I think it is very brave of Justin to, it's one thing to take these photos and show a few friends. But it's another thing to take these photos and say, look, I have real, genuine concern here, and I'm going to share this with the media. I think that Vermont and other states need to see these photos. I think they need to feel the same feeling that I felt when I saw them, which was, whoa, that's not a deer. That's four guys who, let's be honest here, okay, come on. They look pretty sketchy. If I was walking through the woods at night with my infrared glasses on, which, whatever, I don't own a pair of those, and I saw that, or if I had my, my flashlight or whatever, out tracking a deer or whatever, and I came across four dudes like that, I would be very alarmed, especially if they were on my property. I expect that I'm going to take some heat this morning from certain folks, because I knew before I even began this morning that there is no way in hell that you can put Justin on the air without taking some heat from someone for some reason. I am absolutely, most positively not going to always say everything that you agree with. I don't strive to. If you disagree with anything that I have said or that Justin has said this morning, instead of firing some nasty words, which, by the way, they won't hurt my feelings. Why? Because I just simply won't take it personally. But instead of doing that, maybe craft something that is more insightful and more productive, that will make me stop and read. Because if you're coming out of the chute with JD, you fucking right-wing wacko, I'm not even going to read the rest of it. Frankly, I don't have the time. But if you can offer something that has great perspective, that will make me think, that has some insight to it, that can offer a productive solution or idea, then I will read what it is that you have to say. And I'll read it carefully, and I'll probably go back and read it a second or maybe even a third time. And then maybe even post it, pull it aside as a great comment, and talk about it on the air or put it up on the Facebook page. My God, I might even invite you to come in and just sit the hell down with me in one of these chairs and share a cup of coffee and talk about it. As long as you're not slinging shit on everyone and just out to attack everyone, I might do that. Oh, God. The text messages that I'm getting this morning, unbelievable. Shirley saying, regardless of any negative comments, I truly appreciated this morning's show. We all needed to hear this. Had a girlfriend who used to live on the border in Jay. People used to cross in her backyard back when when the EB5 thing was going on. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you with us? Hello, hello. Well, had a phone call this morning. Dave, I really appreciate you saying that. Dave's saying just facts, not negative. Great show. The answers are crystal clear and extremely easy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, JD.
What do you say?
Well, first of all, I want to say I hope you're having a wonderful day, and God bless Justin and his family, and I hope they're safe.
It's scary stuff, man.
Yeah, the answers are relatively crystal clear on what needs to happen.
What does need to happen?
We need to support our border patrol, and they need more resources to stop illegal immigration.
Resources like what? Extra boots on the ground? More money? More technology?
Listen, I don't have those answers, but like you said earlier, we're spending most of our resources on the southern border building walls. And I personally know people of Mexican descent who laugh and say, we don't climb walls, we dig tunnels. And I know that's a joke, but it's true. Like, they're just going to go to the opposite side of the country where it's easily accessible. Illegal immigration is a massive, massive problem in America. Everybody knows it. Most people don't even realize that in 2022, there was 1,000 detainees on the Vermont border. In 2024, it's not even over yet, and there's an 18,000% increase. And like you said, you constantly have to justify your numbers because people think they're horseshit numbers, but those are factual numbers. That's a massive problem, JD.
Yeah, 97 different countries have crossed the Canadian-Vermont border. This is a little tiny state, my man. This border of Vermont and Canada, we are a small state.
So our resources should be massive, but yet there are more illegal crossings than anywhere on the northern border. It's happening right here in Vermont. Let me ask you this, JD. What would you do
Oh
if
God,
you were
please
Justin?
don't. Oh my God, please don't ask me that.
What would you do
Oh.
if you were in Justin's shoes and in the middle of the night, your house just became a refuge, so to speak? I'm using air quotes, a refuge for 8 or 10 illegal immigrants.
My knee-jerk reaction to that would be I'd fucking move. I mean, I'd have my house on the market in an hour. But I mean, obviously, I would, as a father, as a man. I mean, even if I didn't have a family, I would protect. I mean, we all have the right to protection. We should protect ourselves. We're all here to survive. And when we
JD,
don't
the
know,
answer is not moving, because where are you going to move to in this state? You literally could move to the Massachusetts border in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's not an answer.
Yeah.
And then you have an overwhelming majority of the Vermont population that would welcome them in and read to them and give them milk and cookies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane. And those people, their opinion does not matter. It shouldn't matter, because it's not a safe opinion, and it's dangerous.
Obviously, I would protect myself. I would defend myself. Like Chris Massey is asking. I mean, obviously, I would defend myself. Brad just says, we live in the most connected society in the world, and yet we are the most disconnected people. I mean, it's not like, would you build a 20-foot fence around your property? I mean, in the court, in the case of Justin, I mean, this is farmland. He's got what? I think he said 250 acres. How the hell are you going to build a fence that big? I mean, if you got a little tiny backyard, that's one thing, but I mean, still, my God. Let me say this. I wouldn't be actively, if I was looking for a new home, I wouldn't actively be seeking out something that's necessarily on the Canadian-Vermont border. Can I say that without taking any heat?
Yeah.
All right. I mean,
Absolutely.
There are other areas that I would rather live, but if you showed me a beautiful home and said, "Look at this gorgeous freaking home," and you got 250 acres, but you're right up against the Canadian border, no way in hell for this old fella. I'm too old for that shit. If I was in my 20s, I don't know, I'd have electric fences and, machine guns. Oh, did I just say that? I'm going to get a lot of trouble for that. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Francine says, we don't need a war in Vermont. I mean, yeah. Mary Ellen, a fence does nothing with tunnels being used. It would need to be 20 feet below and above the ground. It's not Martha's Vineyard. It's JD's freaking sugar bush. God. Unbelievable. Thanks, Stacy. Yeah, this is a hot one. guys. I think we all know that this is a hot one. Hot topic. Now, I know that there's going to be plenty of people saying, well, JD, there's other issues in Vermont. How come you're not giving that enough attention, like the homelessness crisis? My God, I talk about that all the time. Well, JD, what about the opioid crisis? You don't talk about that enough. You're always talking about the border. What? Talk about that all the time. And if you missed it, then that's on you. But I talk about all of those other issues in Vermont all the time. And they're all in the news all the time. National headlines this morning. Hey, Glenn, man, you got my cell phone number. Call me. You don't need to stop. Ever. Glenn, this is your podcast, brother, too. You call me. Put you on the air right now. Federal authorities are investigating fires at ballot boxes in Oregon and Washington this morning. Hundreds of ballots destroyed. Evidence from the devices found at 2 charred ballot boxes in the Portland, Oregon area shows that the fires are connected, as well as a third incident reported in Vancouver, Washington on October 8th. Did you hear about this story? It's trending right now. It's massive in the nation. Big, huge story. Yeah. Glenn Brummert, you know my cell phone number. Massey wants you on the air. Massey, you know my cell phone number too. You guys call me anytime. Call me. Don't be afraid. I'm looking at my phone right now. Call me. I'll put you on the air. Be brave. Look what you've done, Glenn. Now you got Francine putting the heat on you. And Amber, she's got the nails to you now, too. U.S. airlines are now required to refund passengers automatically if their flight is significantly delayed or canceled. Department of Transportation says the final federal rule requiring that airlines dole out refunds, not vouchers, refunds, went into effect yesterday. I said this morning, about damn time. Voucher my ass. Give me a refund and give it to me right now. That's what I say. Now we got Stacey Holden coming after Glenn Brummert, who says he's too hot right now. Don't be too hot, fella. Deep breath. A little shot of whiskey. It's 10:21 in the morning. Take a little nipper. Give Uncle JD a call. New York City, the jail that Sean Diddy Combs is in has now become the target of an interagency operational shakedown. They went into the jail where Diddy is and busted everybody up. Said, we know you're doing this. We know you're doing that. Slapping the hand here, slapping the hand there. You're not having dinner tonight. You're going to bed early. No TV for you for a week. No more extra crackers at lunch for you. I think I'm going to make the decision this morning to stop using the word Diddy when I say Sean Diddy Combs. Diddy is his fun stage name that he added to himself because he was a celebrity. I think I'm just going to call him Sean Combs and get the Diddy out. Maybe replace it with Shitty. World news, we got North Korea sending 10,000 troops to Russia, likely to fight the Ukraine. That's one of the biggest stories in the world right now. Outside of the fact that the United States has an election coming up in just a couple of days. I know, everybody's just on the edge. Monday Night Football, Steelers beat the Giants last night, 26-18. Not surprised if you're a Steelers fan, I know. Major League Baseball, lots of anticipation building for the World Series Game 4 today. Dodgers just one win away from their 8th World Series championship. And I'll tell you right now, that's got Glenn Brummert worked up more than anything else. That's got Brummert biting the fingernails right off more than anything else. I heard, and I don't know that this is true, but I heard that Glenn Brummert has a pair of Yankees underwear. I don't know that it's true. It's just what I've heard. It's just the rumor that's out on the streets. Yeah. This would be the big title if they can clinch it. Game 4 against the New York Yankees. A lot of people are going to be watching that game tonight. Is anyone going to be watching the Bruins and the Flyers tonight on the ice? Probably not. Probably not. Celtics and Pacers tomorrow. NASCAR, we got the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville on Sunday. Yeah. He says he goes commando. All right. One of the things that, and I'm gonna dive in here to the community calendar because it is Tuesday, and Chris from The World, who is our World newspaper delivery guy, comes in here every Tuesday and gives me a fresh copy of the World newspaper. And like I say, and I'm not going to deny it, I feel like an old piece of shit when I put on my readers and I sit with a cup of coffee and I look at the World and I flip through the pages. I feel like an old man when I do that. There's plenty of you that get on the vt-world.com digital version and read the World that way, which is fine. But I like to recline back, put the readers on, get the sweatpants on, pour the cup of coffee, and flip through and do this. That's how I love to read the paper. And there's so much stuff in there. There's so much stuff packed in there. Every single Tuesday, the American Legion, Post 10, right here in the Granite City, has their Tuesday night meal and bingo. The World always posts what the meal is on Tuesday. And they always say, look, if you want us, the American Legion, Post 10, to do the cooking tonight so you don't have to worry about it, just call us ahead and let us know that you want a meal so that they can have it ready for you. It's dine in or take out. But either way, please let them know that you want to eat so that they know how much food to cook, right? Kind of like if you didn't show up for dinner and your mom cooked this incredible meatloaf dinner, and you were out running around with your friends acting like a hooligan and didn't show up for dinner on time, and your mom busted her ass to make that nice meal and you didn't show up, it's the same thing with the American Legion. If you know you're going to eat tonight, give them a call. Here's the phone number, 479-9058. 479-9058. Why do I say that? Because I have fond memories of my mom being ripshit pissed. On one particular night, I think I was 15, 16 years old, she made this, she was in tears, made this meatloaf dinner, and I blew it off. And I didn't come home, and she was pissed. Why didn't you call me and tell me that you're coming? I've been in this kitchen for hours. Call the American Legion. Stick around for bingo afterwards, 6 o'clock. Things can get hot with bingo over there, boy. There's some doppers. They know what they're doing. Wing-a-Ding Wednesday is tomorrow at the VFW Post 790 in Barrie. I was there last Wednesday. Ron Tallman, the old feller, knows how to cook wings. They do it like every single Wednesday. It starts at like 5 o'clock. What else? What are you saying there, Dwayne? Chris Massey, oh no, you can't say that team name on his podcast. What the hell is he talking about? Somebody trying to get me in trouble? You don't need to help me. Carving for Kay Santamore. The jack-o'-lanterns were lit and on display last night at 21 Rudd Farm Road, and they will be right through Halloween night. If you haven't been to 21 Rudd Farm Road, the home of Ruth Weeks, and seen these jack-o'-lanterns out on display, you're missing it. Do not forget tonight, or tomorrow night, or Thursday night if you're out trick-or-treating, to get over to 21 Rudd Farm Road and see these jack-o'-lanterns, take some photos, post them up on Facebook, and give a shout-out not only to Ruth Weeks and her friends for doing this, but also to Kay Santamore, who dreamed of having a pumpkin show like this. Will it continue? Will it turn into an annual thing in honor of Kay Santamore? I don't know. I'll also say this morning. Please, if you would, on your own Facebook page, on your own social media, please give some love to Tanya Lewis and Rob over in Williamstown for that annual pumpkin show that they did Saturday and Sunday nights. They are going to be relighting those jack-o'-lanterns on Halloween, I'm told. Some of those pumpkins are going to look by Thursday like they've lost their dentures. They're caving in a little bit. Don't let that deter you from showing up on Thursday night to get over to Williamstown and see these amazing jack-o'-lanterns that kids from all over, not just St. Monica's, who carved up like 40 of them, but kids everywhere. Williamstown School. I mean, it's just everywhere. There's 230 jack-o'-lanterns over there on Garden Street in Williamstown. Where's Garden Street, JD? I'm not going to be able to find that. Can you tell me exactly where it is? My God, you just drive right into Williamstown. You see the pub on the left? Look to the right. That's it right there. You cannot miss it. If you miss it, if you drive through Williamstown at night and you miss those pumpkins on Thursday night, then you need to get yourself over to Optical Expressions and get some new glasses because it's impossible to miss. Give some love to Tanya and Rob for doing this. 15 years that they have done this this annual pumpkin show in Williamstown. And it's amazing. 230 pumpkins. Kids carving them up. I loved being over there the other night. What else do we have? Just glancing here. Just glancing. Oh. What? Today's the 29th. Is today the 29th? Today's the 29th. Central Vermont Cars and Coffee. They're going to be over at Formula Nissan for the trunk or treat from 4 to 6 this afternoon. Unless I'm wrong. I could be, I don't know. At least that's what I have in my notes here. Formula Nissan trunk or treat 4 to 6 this afternoon. This coming Saturday, and I want to thank Steve England for coming on the air with me last week to talk about this. He is the head of the Sons of the American Legion Squadron 10 right here in the Granite City. I want to thank Steve, and I want to thank the Barrie Elks Lodge 1535 for putting this on. This is year number 10 for the Granite City 5K run and walk for veterans. It's this coming Saturday. If you can't run, walk. Get over there. Be part of this. It's right out back here behind, Metro Way area. You're not going to miss it. I think registration starts at like 8:30. I think the run is underway at like 9 o'clock, something like that. For me to run at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning with my plantar fasciitis, I either need to be chasing someone or I need to be chased by someone for me to run. Other than that, it's a walk, and most of it is a limp. Quick heads up here. Saturday, the 23rd of November, there's going to be a huge men's basketball game up at the auditorium, Norwich and Northern Vermont University. I think they're going to be playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's just one of many items on the community calendar that I'm going to be hammering, including the Woodridge pumpkin show. Woodridge Nursing Home. They have been, I don't know how many years they've been doing this, but it's a long time. It is tomorrow, the Pumpkin Glow. That's when not only do the kids get to go around and trick or treat with the residents there, but also the residents get to see all of the pumpkins. The community is invited to come and see all of these jack-o'-lanterns lit up. There's going to be blow-up decorations. There's going to be candy. It's at Woodridge Rehabilitation. It's tomorrow night beginning at 6:30. I have it posted. Please grab it right off the page and share it, because the more people that know about stuff like this, the better. We need a huge turnout for this. The residents need it. They love it. They look forward to it. Please, if you would, okay? Yeah. Never got a phone call from old Glenn. That's okay. It's all right. We'll get him on the air one of these days. I want to I just want to say thank you for listening to me babble this morning. I know that, I was driving in this morning and I'm like, holy shit, are you really going to be talking about this? The border? Do you really want to go down that fucking rabbit hole? It's a deep one. But I am looking to Vermonters. I'm looking at anyone, really, who, like I said, has some perspective on this subject matter that is beyond what's coming out of my mouth this morning. I most certainly don't think or claim to be someone who has the answers here or has all of the knowledge or the best insight. I humbly look to you for that and hope that you will enlighten me and give me other angles to look at this subject through maybe a different lens. Like I said, there's a shit ton of bad people in this world. And there's a shit ton of great people in this world. And for the most part, not to be negative here, but for the most part, I think we live in a pretty crazy fucking world, okay? That's just me. How we decipher who is evil and who is not is complicated, and it's not easy. And sometimes the most evil people in the world are those that are shopping right along next to us at Price Chopper or in the waiting line. Sometimes they're people that are crossing our borders, coming into our state. We all need to do a better job of keeping our eyes wide open, paying attention to what's happening not only here in Vermont, but in our country and in our surrounding states. Be patient with one another, please. And I say this, please be patient with me. If you have a comment, keep it constructive, keep it moving forward. Say something that's going to make an impact on me and make me sit and chew on it and maybe bring it up on the air. Okay? And if you want to come on the air with me, smack me around. Smack some sense into me. You're always welcome. Because this is your podcast too. Thanks to our presenting sponsors for helping me do this every single day. Love and appreciate you. Here's the list right here. Have a fantastic rest of your day, everybody.